Greetings everyone. My topic is about Sigmund Freud psychoanalytic theory. The title of my topic is about Sigmund Freud psychoanalytic theory. Let us have a short biography. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory is a belief that experiences and human behaviors are influenced by a collection of unconscious thoughts or mind. Sigmund Freud is the creator of psychoanalytic theory. He is often called the father of psychoanalysis. Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1939, was an Austrian neurologist, physiologist, and influential thinker of the early 20th century. He was born in Moravia, Czech Republic on 1856. He originally planned to study law, but later he changed his mind and picked medicine. In 1881, he received a degree in the field of medicine. In 1886, he got married and the couple had 6 children. He coined the psychoanalysis in 1896, which emphasized on the unconscious mental processes and is the treatment of mental disorder. In 1901, he published Psychopathology of Everyday Life. In 1902, at the University of Vienna, he became a professor and formed what was called Psychoanalytic Society. Psychologists such as Carl Jung and Alfred Adler were early followers of Freud. In 1939, he died of cancer in England. So what is the so-called psychoanalytic theories of Sigmund Freud? Freud's psychoanalytic theories are based on his belief that childhood experiences determine the type of personality that an individual acquires in adulthood. Psychoanalytic theories have largely contributed to psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis that helped in the treatment of various psychological disorders consists of various psychological theories and therapies. The psychoanalysis process involves understanding the unconscious thoughts of individual. Freud believed that any traumas in childhood may result in negative traits in adulthood. Next topic will be Sigmund Freud's theory of personality. Sigmund Freud's theory of personality consists of consciousness. Freud noted that there were levels of consciousness: the conscious, the preconscious, and the unconscious. Let us differentiate each. According to Freud, the conscious mind is what we are aware of at any given time. Between the conscious and unconscious, is the preconscious. Freud pointed out that the preconscious contains feelings and thoughts which are not presently conscious, but they are able to pass from unconscious into conscious mind. Furthermore, he stressed that unconscious feelings and thoughts were forgotten because they were unimportant. The third topic will be Sigmund Freud, id, ego, and superego. Sigmund Freud highlighted that personality is composed of elements. He believed that at different stages in our lives, his personality theory, 1923, was structured into three parts. Letter A, the id, letter B, the ego, and letter C, superego. Let us describe each of those three structures. Letter A, the id. Freud described it as a primitive, biological, and inherited component of your personality. Common example is when the baby is hungry. He will cry. He will only stop crying until he is fed. Letter B, the ego. Freud described it as decision-making component of the personality, and something is good as long as there is no harm to oneself. For example, Mike wanted to slap Eddie for the remarks he just made about his sister. He knew that if he hurt Eddie, he will be called by the dean and he might be sent home. He just withdrew, thinking that would depress his parents. Letter C, the superego. In the superego, Freud incorporates the morals and values of society. The ideal self is determined by how you were raised by your parents. According to Freud, the superego can be divided into two parts. Letter A, conscience, and letter B, ego ideal. Conscience leads to a feeling of guilt when we do things that our conscience consider bad. On the other hand, ego ideal pertains to how we should behave as member of the society and how we should treat other people. For example, for superego, a person has a high sense of superego if he lived in a society where the people around have respect for each other. Our next topic will be Sigmund Freud theories. I have here the summary of Sigmund Freud theories. Learn more about some of the major ideas proposed by Sigmund Freud in his Freudian theory. Letter A, personality driving forces. Freud truly believed that there are factors that affect personality. Letter B, talk therapy. It is the notion that simply talking about our problems can help reduce them. So let us continue now. You have letter C, conscious and unconscious mind. The conscious mind includes all the things we are aware of. And in the other hand, unconscious mind includes all of the things outside of our awareness. Then last, letter D, dream analysis. Freud explored dreams to be one of the key ways to take a secret look into what lies outside of our conscious awareness. Next topic will be Interpretation of Dreams by Sigmund Freud. Published in 1899, The Interpretation of Dreams was one of the most important books written by Sigmund Freud. In his book, Freud introduced many key concepts that became central to his psychoanalysis theory. The underlying principles of the Freudian psychology emphasize the role of the unconscious mind in this book. Freud, always an imaginative and a dreamer, noticed the impact of dreams on his patients, whose delusions were similar to dreams. Let us continue. Freud affirmed that between his experience and that of his patients, dreams were almost always an expression of unrealized wishes. Freud pointed out that one of the ways to understand his theory of psychoanalysis in a practical way is by dream. He emphasized that desires were deeply connected with the ability to dream. He speculated that most unconscious desires can be traced to childhood. What are these desires? Say, I wish for a kitten, or I wish for a dog, or I wish to be a genius, or whatever. Freud stated that when a dream appears odd and confusing, dream distortions may appear in three different ways. Let us have the first one, letter A, symbolism. What is the definition of symbolism? It is a dream image which is represented by an abstract image. The second one will be letter B, condensation. What can you say about condensation? When a single dream image carries two or more familiar features, condensation occurs. Say, in your dream, an old teacher but acts like a father. Meaning you dream of a single image, only one, but in your dream, that old teacher also acts like a father. Next, last will be letter C, displacement. When in dream, emotion is associated with unintended person is transferred into a meaningless being in your dream. Say, you dream slapping a comedian may reflect a restrained anger for someone. Last topic will be Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. We have here the comparison, similarities, and differences between the two. Sigmund Freud is called the father of modern psychology, while Carl Jung is considered the founder of analytic psychology. Freud and Jung considered dream analysis important, and both are interested in the unconscious mind. Let us continue. Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1939, was an Austrian neurologist, while Carl Jung, 1875 to 1961, was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychologist. Freud believed that religion should be separated from the empirical nature of psychology, while Jung acknowledged religion as an essential part of individual development. Freud favored patients lying down and facing away from the psychologist, while Jung found value in face-to-face interactions, and patients to lie on a couch is not necessary. Okay, that's all. So that is the summary of my research. I edit it and I present it in a PowerPoint way. So I summarize all the data I gathered from my research, and this was my output. Okay, I hope you got something from it. Thank you and have a good day.